Okay, we're going to do a swing analysis here today of Lucy Lee. And the first thing I want to note is, this young lady is by far one of the most talented junior golfers I've ever seen play the game. So this is going to be really cool looking at her swing and just seeing some traits that she uses to make her as good as she is. Alright, so let's start here as she's addressing the ball. I noticed three things that almost all expert players do, and that's first, she's looking down the range here with her eyes. This is helping her visualize a shot. The swing we see, or the picture we see here on the screen, she's age 9 at the moment. Just to put this in perspective how good she is, and when she was 11 she qualified for the US Women's Open. So let's get back into address. She's looking down range here with her eyes. While she's doing that, if you watch her right thumb, she regrips the club slightly, just right there, ever so slightly. Now, as she begins to look down at the ball, you can see her feet are going to reposition just a little bit. See her left foot there? Okay, those are three common traits you see amongst expert players. That's, they visualize the shot. Okay, they will definitely take this right thumb off the club or regrip the club to some degree to get a feel of it. And they're letting their feet kind of get a feel for the ground. This also helps break their tension so they can start smoothly. So let's look at her setup here first. You can see that she's definitely a little bit left eye dominant, which that's going to help her head swivel correctly because she makes a huge turn. Her arms are hanging really well. For instance, her elbows are pointed right at her hip. Alright, her grip is excellent in her left hand. I like the way the back of her left hand is positioned. It's showing here. Her right hand looks in a really good position too, so I like her grip. You see she's playing without a glove. Okay, her feet, I really like where those are at. They're splayed off just a little bit. It's going to help her turn correctly. And her knees are pointed in a little bit. Help her stay centered a little. Okay, so all in all, I think it's an excellent setup. And I think the way she's addressed the ball, she's went about it in a good way. Okay, so let's get into her swing. But as her club swings back, some things I want you all to notice is how good of width she gets off the ball in the beginning. So she's really doing a good job keeping this club low to the ground. I mean, it's only maybe an inch off the ground right now. It's already a couple feet away from the ball. Alright, and what I'm going to do is just track her club head here really quickly. So it's not going to be exact at all. I just want to give you all an idea of what I'm talking about. So she's getting good width here. She goes back. Okay. And then what we're going to do is track her club head on the downswing so I can kind of show you all what a wide to narrow arc looks like. She does a really good job of that. And then we'll go over some other things in her swing too, especially with her body and how she's turning. Alright, so now she's arrived at the top of her swing. Now we're just going to focus on her club here for the moment. Alright, so that's kind of the width of her backswing, or the arc of it. Now the club's repositioning. Okay, so here it comes on its downswing, but it's definitely getting a lot more narrow at this moment. So when we compare these arcs as she gets into the ball here soon, you're going to kind of see the differences between the two. Okay, we kind of get the idea here. Now it's going to flatten out and get level back with the red. Alright, so she's swinging back, staying nice and wide. Okay, club staying very close to its transition point. It gets back now on the yellow line. You can see how much more narrow it is in this red. They call this Pac-Man. If you can do this, you're doing pretty well in your swing to some degree. You definitely do not want the yellow line higher than the red. That would be a narrow to wide swing arc. So you do not want the opposite of that. Alright, so let's just focus on her body here for a moment. So again, she's going to start at blue. She's going to mark her hip here. Okay, we'll mark her head. Alright, we'll kind of mark her knee position here and how her right side's doing. Alright, so we're just going to turn her back here. Now she's pivoting. She's doing an excellent job right here. Okay, she is not allowing anything to slide or get right of that inside foot, hardly at all. Okay, but you can see she's drifted just a little from her left position. Knees drifted just a little. That's helping her stay free, helping her make a good coil here. Okay, her head has stayed pretty much in the same position. It's just swiveled. So you can see she's a little more left-eye dominant at this moment. Alright, now she arrives at the top. If you look at her hip turn, she's pretty much made a 90-degree hip turn almost. I mean, it is a lot, and she's allowing the freedom of that, which that's fine. Now, if you look at her shoulder turn, it's way past 90. And you can see the straps on her back here, okay, on the outfit she has. Now, I want you to focus on this for just a moment, because as she's transitioning, so here's her club at the top of the backswing. Okay, her hip is now here on the yellow, right? But as she transitions, notice how long she's able to keep this strap kind of still pointing at the target, or back at the target. You know, she's doing an excellent job of not allowing her upper body to unwind too soon. Okay? Now, as she transitions also, we're going to focus here just on her hip for a moment. So I was noticing it's kind of happening at the same time, or simultaneously, where club head is kind of starting on the downswing right as she's starting to transfer her weight. So one's not happening too abruptly before the other. And she is making sure the weight is getting transferred back to the left. Now she's doing that again. Back's still doing a good job at staying at the target. Okay, she's starting to push off this right side, but you can see she's done an excellent job here of bracing. Okay, that's going to help her use the ground for power. Now she's continually to drive through. She's doing a great job here getting inside this right line, letting her right leg drive, and she's not spinning out on her foot. So her right foot is in good position. She has nice footwork. Okay, the hip ends up about here, and then now you'll see her kind of post from this position. Head still staying behind the ball. You'll see it kind of kick back like you'll see with most players. You know, as she's getting into here, it's kind of in a kickback move. Head staying well behind it. Okay, at this moment, right leg driving good. Heel still inside the toe. Foot not spinning out. Good job of posting. Not too much tilt for a driver swing. Some pretty good launch angles here. Again, really good footwork. Excellent release. Head still staying nice and down through the ball. Then excellent finish. A really good finish. And you take her all the way here. Her chest is now pointing in this direction. Her range of motion is pretty much limitless. Let's cover what's going on with the club here just real quickly. Again, we talked about the good width off the ball. You see she's allowing her elbows. She's staying in this one piece for a pretty long time, right? So you can still see even into here, she's still into her triangle. So she's not letting things break down and hinge or bend too early. Now the club's kind of taking its set, which it is starting to hinge, not abruptly, but she's definitely getting a good set on it at this moment. Now here you can see it's kind of crossing the line. If we were behind her, it's kind of the angle it would be on. That's mainly due from her huge shoulder turn. It's kind of the same reason Bobby Jones crosses the line. This is not a fault in swing mechanics. This is because she can turn a lot better than most people. And she's able to do this because she's still able to keep great sight to the ball. She has good range of motion. Okay, now she's coming back down like we talked about. She gets that nice narrow arc, right? Right elbow is starting to get right into the back of her. She's going to get into her side here soon. You can see the lag she's able to hold here on the club. Okay, and she gets into the hitting position. You can see elbows now getting into the hip. Left arm's trying to straighten out there, get extended. Okay, back of the hand looks in a pretty decent position where it's pointed down, where the knuckles are slightly down. That way she doesn't have to work too hard to square up her face. All in all, it's a beautiful swing. You know, I mean, this is like I was mentioning before, this is a really talented young golfer, and hopefully you can pick up some things from this analysis today that can help in your own game. And yeah, so I wish you the best of luck, Lucy Lee. I hope to see you on tour one day, and you all have a great day now. Thank you.